Hello and welcome to another review. My name's Dan and today we're talking about Silence. This is the newest movie from Martin Scorsese starring Liam Neeson, Adam Driver, and Andrew Garfield. It follows a group of Jesuit priests. First off, Liam Neeson, who's on mission in Japan, and when he's there, they don't really know what happens to him. He just stops and they think he's renounced the faith. They're not sure. So two of his pupils go to find him and figure out what's going on. And they understand, they find the suffering, the immense persecution that's undertaking the church there. With that said, this movie took me a bit to think about, actually. I mean, most of the time when June and I drive back after watching a movie, we talk about it, we discuss what we thought about it, kind of get a preliminary review between the two of us. And I really just kind of had to sit there in silence about this movie, no pun intended. Because as I thought about what it was about, I was trying to grasp the meaning behind what they were trying to do and what that meant spiritually, because there was aspects I liked, aspects I didn't like. And so kind of coming to terms with that. And so as I watched this movie, my initial thoughts were kind of rocky. I think the first half of it does a really cool picture of the church and suffering and paints a picture of what that looked like for the church and what it kind of to this day looks like with ISIS and everything's current. Like right now, Christians are one of the most persecuted people groups in the world right now. I mean, 90,000 Christians, I think it was, that died last year. And so as we kind of take a second and we reflect on that, I didn't enjoy it. I thought it brought something interesting to light that not a lot of people realize. It does make you step back and you're like, man, I am so blessed to live where I live, to have what I have, to be where I am. And so I liked that. I thought the movie did a good job at doing that. I thought all the acting in the movie was really superb. Andrew Garfield had a good performance. Adam Driver did. Liam Neeson was okay in it. I don't really feel like it's one of his best for sure. But as I kind of watched the film and it kind of progressed, I feel like it really took a shift in the second act in a little bit of a weird way. It showed the struggle, and I understand it with the struggle between silence and understanding God's faithfulness. Sometimes when you don't hear him, when he's not yelling at you, and you hear him in the silence. And so through most of the movie, I understood that. But once it got to the last section of the movie, that's where it lost me. I feel like it kind of took a weird turn. I feel like it became, I just didn't know what the movie was trying to do from it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I felt like it kind of got lost, and then it just really got convoluted and didn't make sense with the rest of the movie. I felt like it was very strange. I know I'm not saying much because I don't want to spoil the film for you, but it just, in the sense of where it went with it, the way it dealt with everything, it just did not make sense to me. It was obviously written from someone who's not writing from a Christian perspective, in my mind, because I don't see how that fits in line with what we know to be true of the Bible and what God says and what I know from my life. But I struggled with it because I feel like they're painting an intentional picture here, yet at the same time, with that intentional picture, they're kind of getting to the end of this, it just didn't fit with the rest of it. With what all was going on, it did not sit well with me. And I mean that as a moviegoer, as far as just the way the movie, I enjoyed it, and also just from the sense of what they were attempting to, the source material they're talking about. I know I'm being vague, but like I said, I don't want to spoil this for you. And my final thoughts here, this movie did have an R rating. Violence, there was definitely some violence in it. There was no sexual content or anything of that kind. Very little cursing, a little bit of cursing, but very, very little. And I feel like all in all, it was a fairly clean movie in that sense. But the violence that is there is hard to watch. It's persecution. It's things that are not something we like to think about, not things we like to do, but it does happen. As for the movie in general, I feel like this movie was trying to be something that it was not there. It was somewhat uninspired in the end. It had the opportunity to do something really interesting, and I feel like for almost 3/4 of the movie it did it, and maybe even a little further than that. And then at the end, it just lost it. And the movie seemed long at times. It seemed like they really didn't understand or nor what to do with what they were painting this picture of. That's just my humble opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. All in all, what I'm going to give it here on the Multiply Media scale is I'm going to give it a 6.3. I feel like the first half was decent, and really past the first half was even a decent movie. But once it got to the end, it just did not flow. It didn't feel natural for me. It didn't feel like it just didn't work. And so would I recommend this movie? I really don't think so. I think it it doesn't really achieve what I think it set out to achieve. I don't really think it achieves anything, rather. It just is a weird kind of movie. Not to knock any of the people who are involved with it. I just feel like it didn't weather the storm properly, I guess. I don't even know how to explain it. It's a very odd film. And I know this is like the weirdest, worst review I've probably ever given, and I acknowledge that. So with that said, would I go see it again? No. Would I encourage people to go see it? The answer is no. I think it's just one of those movies that's just like, huh. Does that make sense? So I hope you enjoyed this review. And if you'd like to see our other reviews, we've got tons more. Link in the description down below for that. Check those out, guys. And let me know what you think. Have you seen this movie? Are you not? What do you think of this? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on Hollywood's take on Christian culture and ideas. On Christian culture and ideas. I think it's just, I'd be interested to start that conversation. So let me know in the comments down below, guys. As always, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, guys, my name's Dan. God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow.